Welcome, Rinpoche, Tenzin Rinpoche La. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Akidele to all you all, thank you.
Welcome everyone, and welcome also for all the translators. So today we have a Khenpo Tenzin Rinpoche give us teaching. As you know, Khenpo is teaching online almost every day on GBI's YouTube. His teaching is very wonderful. So everyone can go to YouTube to watch his teachings. So on GBI the YouTube, they have all the teachings from Khenpo Rinpoche. So anytime you can watch on there. Okay. Thank you, Khenpo. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We will begin in our yellow Garchen Institute prayer book with the opening prayers. Cindy, if you would like to do, we'll go from page 1 through the supplication of the Guru.
Okay, just English?
Yes, please.
All mothers, sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. All mothers, sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. All mothers, sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. For that purpose, until I attain Buddhahood, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. Until death, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. From today until this time tomorrow, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. I take refuge in the Buddhas until I attain the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhicitta and progressed along the Bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings and practice the stages of the Bodhisattva's path. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all mothers, sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mothers, sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mothers, sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. an infinite array of worlds, each with 4 continents and the wealth of infinite oceans of realms. If I bring them all to mind and offer them without exception, please hold with compassion all the beings they contain. My body, enjoyments, and whatever I own, my aggregates, elements, and sense sources, my aspirations now and in times to come, as well as everything I grasp as mine. By offering them all, may I be blessed with the end of self-grasping. Completely liberated from the bounds of real and unreal, transcending the names and attributes of arising, cessation, and abiding, coming and going, affirmation and denial. The supreme mandala is the natural state. By offering it, may I be blessed to attain the state of Buddhahood. Om Guru Dewa Dakini Ratna Mandala Prachicha Soha. Namo to the Guru, the utter purity of all appearance and existence. I offer all appearance and existence arisen as the primordial ground. I supplicate you, may the 3 realms be completely liberated. Please grant blessings to empty samsara from its depths. Lord, with 5 omniscient wisdoms, crown, ornament, kind one, with loving nature, precious protector of beings, heart of all Buddhas, inexpressible by words or thought, I supplicate you from the core of my mind. Bless me from within the state of Dharmata. Bless me to realize this mind, primordially pure and unborn, as the unfathomable Dharmakaya. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the greater and lesser vehicles and the teachings common to both, according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings.
Tangke to je shajer zon rong, yenye mata de ja bonjan ba, serje lomba da vare jibak. Shaje jarbe jardang ge jan zar, torje janje telo naro tang, ma pa mala chuje kambo ba, pa mo ba jawan rogong ba. Kaju lama nanje da jon she, dana nana tsara tamche de lama lapa la ye jiso zon, la son yon den jam se nga la ba. Tenje don jen je be ge le zor, da ge lo jiso ro var sin je lap de zor, che lam don ro var sin je lap de lam zho wa ze var sin je lap de zor, zho wa ye shi san ja var sin je lap de zor, kang ge ten jen zhe var jong, ga pa me pa che pa me pa ta me Wa me ban ro me ba ta de de me de je me zhe ban ye je je den ba zo ba san je ma nan je dam ba de la xiang zar de zhen jian zi wen la ma ji gu zong de jie zhen la da 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 ge ju lan ben de da ge den ba dan sun jie ji dong jia jin ban zhe pra sen jie la de so. Many Tashdele, the Dharma friends. Today, our teaching is on the 14 on the 14 root downfalls of Samaya. Actually, in the Vajrayana vehicle, there are thousands of Samayas. The reason there are thousands of Samayas has to do with the Vajrayana vehicle having many methods to become enlightened in this life with this body. So then, now, for example, when we receive each empowerment, we have to keep many samayas, because the life force of empowerment is samaya. In Tibetan, the word for samaya is tamtsik. Tam means not transgressing commitment, and tsik means if you transgress, it, then it burns you. But if you do not transgress this commitment, it burns your negative karma. Then there are many root and branch samayas, but it's quite hard to keep these thousands of samayas purely. But the main root samayas are included in the 14 root downfalls of samaya. So we have to keep the samayas listed in the 14 root downfalls. So we clearly have to know what are these 14 root downfalls of samaya. Then it will be easy to keep our samayas. We are practitioners of the Vajrayana vehicle and Sutrayana vehicle. That means that we hold vows and obtain siddhis. These siddhis are received through our pure samaya and pure vows. Then in the Sutrayana, there are lots of vows, but some of these are not relevant to lay practitioners, but we all relate to these Vajrayana vehicle samayas. The reason is if we have pure samaya, then our body, speech, and mind are like a clean vessel. Then the Dharma is like nectar. So we need to clean vessel into which to pour the nectar of the Dharma. Because if we don't have this clean vessel, then no matter how pure and clear the nectar, if we just pour it into our dirty vessel, then this nectar will not this nectar will also become a worthless thing. So if we keep pure samaya and pure vows, they are like the trunk that supports all of the branches and the fruits and the flowers of our tree. So this is very important. But at the same time, if we keep bodhicitta and we generate bodhicitta, we practice bodhicitta, aspiration bodhicitta, and applied bodhicitta, then it's like we save the tree by watering it. So this tree will live long. And this water supports the flourishing of this tree. The leaves, bark, whole of the tree will benefit. Similarly, bodhicitta is very important in our life. Bodhicitta is actually something we all can keep. You don't particularly have to be a practitioner or some higher practitioner or a higher scholar of Buddhism. It is not only they who have the responsibility to keep bodhicitta. Newer practitioners or non-Buddhist must not think like that, as it is not like this. We all need to keep this bodhicitta vow. The Bodhisattva vow and bodhicitta, we can keep them in our life. Then while usually we are in samsara, still it will greatly serve us in this samsara and bring us to the doorway of nirvana. Usually we say this precious human life is very rare to get. Of course, there are many ways of describing this, such as the 8 freedoms and the 10 advantages. We have to know this, but the thing is bodhicitta. Bodhicitta can only arise in this precious human life. That's why this life is precious. So we have to generate bodhicitta because all mother sentient beings, especially our Vajra brothers and sisters, they have cultivated wonderful merit since beginningless. And right now they have found this human birth, which is extremely difficult to find. But whoever is born is subject to change and death. And when they die, the cause and result of virtues and non-virtues actions are undeniable. And then they continuously the cycle in the 2 realms of samsara, which is like in ocean of suffering. So also for the sake of our sisters and brothers, we have to greatly generate bodhicitta so that their minds turn towards the Dharma. As it says in Dzogpa Chenpo prayer, from now until samsara is emptied, I will accomplish the benefit and happiness of all sentient beings who have all been my mothers. So we have to liberate all mother sentient beings, not only for creating temporary benefit. We have to make samsara completely empty. So then, what is the best method or the best thing to do to make samsara empty? It is bodhicitta. So we have to have inspired confidence in bodhicitta, and then we have to generate bodhicitta. And of course, we have to combine any of our practices, especially right now, we have all these facilities. If we generate compassion, bodhicitta, we can make use of this opportunity. And we know how to generate compassion and bodhicitta. So this is extremely important. But then we did not learn how to generate compassion, how to generate bodhicitta spontaneously. Our knowing is the kindness of our Guru. That's why different prayers often repeat words like the complete embodiment of all Buddhas of the three times, Supreme Root Guru, I pray to you in this life, in the Bardo, and future lives. Hold me with your compassion. May your blessings flow unceasingly throughout the three times. So we have supplicated, we practiced until now like this. Then out of kindness, our Guru bless us. Out of kindness, our Guru instructed us. And out of the kindness of his heart, the Guru supports us. That's why now we can generate bodhicitta. So we have to remember the kindness of the Guru, and we have the supplicate to the Guru until we become Dharmakaya. Whenever we supplicate, then the Guru is always there. Guru is Dharmakaya, non-duality. As it says in Guru Rinpoche's prayer of the 7 chapters, in the pure land of the unelaborated expanse of phenomena, the nature of Dharmata unborn and unceasing, free from past, present, and future. In the wisdom body of a great bliss, spontaneously perfect, free of activity, whose compassion is impartial like the sky. I pray to the Dharmakaya Guru. If we do not lose our strength of supplication, our devotion, then the Guru always remains in the space of our mind. And the Guru's blessing is like a rain. And then the Guru's blessings appear in our mind as beautiful rainbows appear in the space. If we have a great devotion and we have a pure samaya, because the Guru is Sambhoga Kaya, and it says in Guru Rinpoche's prayer of the 7 chapters, the enlightened bodies of the Sungatas endowed with the 5 wisdoms individually display the myriad dimensions of compassion. I pray to the Sambhogakaya Guru. And also the Guru is our mind and is at the same time Dharmakaya and Sambhogakaya. But then how he helps us or benefits us is through the activities of Nirmanakaya. Because the Guru enters samsara for the sake of us beings. And then the Guru performs the benefit of mother sentient beings with the skills necessary to time and each and everyone. So the Guru always remains in our minds during the 3 times, the past, present, and future. And not only does he just remain, Guru benefits us through different skills, different methods. So if our devotion is strong, if we do not break our samaya, then the Guru's activities always remain in our mind. And the Guru benefits us always. In brief, the Guru is the Vajra holder of the heart of practice. So rightfully, the 14 root downfalls began with disrespecting the Guru. It says, the Vajra holders have said that the attainment of accomplishments depends upon following a master. Therefore, to treat the master with contempt is said to be the first root downfall. So the Guru is whomever gives us a ripening empowerment or liberating instructions, and who shows you the path of the profound teachings of the generation stage and the completion stage. So if we treat them with contempt, this is the first downfall. Those who practice listening to the Dharma, reflecting on the Dharma, meditating on the Dharma, and tame their own mind and practice the higher view, meditation and conduct, and then they teach others and increase the Dharma and hold the Dharma. These practitioners are authentic gurus. They are authentic practitioners. So if we scorn in or look down on them, then this is the first downfall. In brief, it says in Lord Jigten Sunggun's fivefold Mahamudra, if the sunlight of devotion has not dawned upon the snow mountain of the Guru's four kayas, the following river of the Guru's blessings will not come. So persevere in this mind of devotion. So as we discussed, Guru is the four kayas: Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya, and innate kaya. Then we know Guru is Dharmakaya, and we believe in Sambhogakaya and experience the presence of the Nirmanakaya. But then what we don't know is Guru and our mind is the same. Our mindfulness is a Guru that we don't know. We don't know this actually because we don't have enough devotion. When we have less devotion, then we cannot give rise to the feeling that our mindfulness is the Guru. Perhaps we know our mindfulness is our Guru, but we cannot experience that our Guru is our mindfulness. The reason this happens is that perhaps we identify separately and think Guru means this person on the outside who may wear red and yellow colors, and sometimes shows smiles, sometimes displays wrathful actions, or sometimes behaves in different ways. And we point that out and say, oh, that is a Guru. And then between Guru and us, we have make a gap. This gap is made by our thoughts. That's why then we cannot think the Guru is our mindfulness or mind. But if we have a strong devotion, and not only devotion, but through devotion, we practice experientially. We meditate, and then we can understand that the Guru is our mind or our mindfulness. The Guru's mind is compassion, bodhicitta, and intrinsic awareness. So that intrinsic awareness and the nature of our mind or the nature of our mindfulness is intrinsic awareness. 7 verses of Tara, it says, mindful mother goddesses, please protect those who have seen the nature of mind. So difficult to realize, but do not habituate it, and so remain lost in negative activities. So it says, Mother Goddesses, who is this? This is Tara, right? So our mindfulness is Tara. Our mindfulness is Guru. They are no different. For example, if you have a red ball and inside it is a space, and you have another yellow ball, inside of that yellow ball, there is a space. They still are different because they are different balls. And then they hold separate spaces. But if we break these balls, the space inside them is non-real. So I made this example because since we have a dualistic thinking, oh, this is my guru, I am ordinary person, and then we respect to guru, but still we have a dualistic thinking. Then dualistic thinking separate guru's mind and our mind. So we have to know that guru is always remain in our mind, but the guru does not remain in our mind separately. So guru is, if we can arise bodhicitta instantly, that is a guru. If we arise compassion instantly, that is a guru. And if we can rest in Mahamudra for a little while, this is our guru. So that since we realized that, then we realized guru's mind and our mind are inseparable. And then we can bring guru's blessing. So this is very important. And then we cannot even say that these spaces in the balls are same when they are remain separately, because it is beyond the same and different. That's why this is one way how inherently the guru's mind and our mind same. Pamudrupa said, if the guru is not recognized as Dharmakaya, a recognition of oneself as Dharmakaya is a lip service. Lord Jitin Sungkung said, if the guru is seen as an ordinary being, one may have a higher realization, but you are led astray by experience. One may have a perfect experience, but be influenced by sleepiness. One may look like a Dharma practitioner, but be dominated by afflictions. One may look like a disciplined person, but have broken samaya. So the best thing is we have to recognize our mind is a guru, and the guru is embodiment of 3 times Buddhas. If we cannot recognize it, still we have to remember the guru's kindness. As it says, the pledge of the Father Tantra. In the Samayas of the secret mantra, in the King of Compassion, Father Tantra, in the Queen of Core Emergence, Mother Tantra. It is said that supreme and ordinary cities and all the results from the base and path. Without having devotion to the Guru, none of these result will arise. Haven't you noticed this? So we are so grateful to our Guru at all times. First, Guru helps us to open the wisdom eyes to see the karma. What is the cause and what is effect? Second, the Guru helps us to understand our Rigpa. What is Rigpa? So Rigpa, according to different types of philosophy, means the same as consciousness. But in our way of practice, it is different. Rigpa means our naked intrinsic awareness or clarity, our luminosity. So then this Rigpa is the essence of our mind. This is beyond death, beyond birth. It is colorless, formless. So that it colorless means there's no attachment. That it is formless means there are no exaggerations. There's no death means there's no suffering. No birth means that happiness is not temporary. This innate mind or naked mind or Rigpa is our real nature of mind, our Dharmakaya. So, who introduced this? This is introduced by our Guru. As Gampopa said, the essence of my ordinary mind is Buddha, but I did not know it. I have only known it through the introduction by Lord Buddha, who comes in the form of an ordinary person who is Milarepa. So where we find this intrinsic awareness or naked Rigpa is in this ordinary mind. That's why we inherently have this Buddha nature. Dromdumba also said, I already know my essence of mind, but I didn't know until my guru introduced me know it. So that's why no matter how advanced to your practice is, you still have to follow a guru to recognize the essence of ordinary mind. It is only the guru's kindness that helps us to realize. So guru helps us to become instantaneously enlightened. The guru helps us to instantaneously become Buddha. So what we need more than anything else from the guru. Then how do we realize the essence of ordinary mind? As Milarepa said, I, the yogi Milarepa, look nakedly and see the essence. What I see is beyond concept. What I see resembles space, free from motions. Resting still, I realized the true nature. All things are empty. Their empty essence is what I realize. Resting loosely, letting go ordinary wisdom holds its ground. In the river of awareness, the mud settles down and the brightness shines. I take my concepts and throw them away. Recollection and thoughts are cut. The deep abyss of the six realms has been sealed completely. That's over for me now. I know for sure my mind is Buddha, so there is nothing I need to gain or achieve. When realization shines from inside, it's like when the sun's light shines on the night. All my thoughts, the whole collection, and disturbing states of mind, without effort, in their own place, disappear and are now gone. And second, it says, to transgress the words of the Buddha is said to be the second downfall. This means if we already have liberation vows, the Bodhisattva vow, and then the tantric vows, Tantra vows, or we already have the refuge vow, then if we don't know what to observe or keep in order to remain purified, and so your delator and these vows, and also Buddhas and Tathangatas and Sungatas, they become enlightened through their power of bodhicitta and their power of compassion, the power of emptiness, Mahamudara, and Dzogpa Chimbo, and Madhyamaka, so they became enlightened Buddhas. But to become an enlightened Buddha does not mean they become unconscious or just feelingless. It means they become like the sun. Whenever the sun rises, then it has light and it has warmth. The sunlight helps to remove this darkness, and then people and these mother sentient beings, they can see, they can work and walk, and because of the sunlight. Many plants and human beings get lots of benefit from the sun's warmth. Similarly, Buddha became enlightened and then attained Dharmakaya, but still radiates like the power of clarity radiates Nirmanakaya, and the power of bliss radiates Sambhogakaya, and the power of compassion and bodhicitta radiate many Nirmanakayas. Lots of bodhisattvas and so on. Through these, the Buddha benefit all mother sentient beings in different ways. For example, not always showing perfect conduct. For instance, the Supreme Buddha is like a role model, as he displayed perfect conduct and so on. And through this path, became enlightened. They display, but some Mahasiddhis and Bodhisattvas, they display different actions for the sake of disciples, for the sake of Madhu sentient beings, liberation. It means some Bodhisattvas appear as bridges over a big river, and they appear as flowers for someone who likes them, and take rebirth as dogs, cats, and other pets or other animals to benefit all Madhu sentient beings, and for the sake of liberating them. Now, at this time, we cannot see these, how they are appearing to benefit us, and we see them in different ways, and then we criticize or we look down or on them. Some of the Buddha's scriptures especially point out that Buddhas reincarnate to benefit beings. But if we don't care about that, then this is the second downfall. Sometimes we try to follow Buddha's instructions and Buddha's teachings, but we can't exactly adopt virtues, and we can't reject non-virtues. So all of these times, we transgress the words of the Buddha. So we have to know how we can usually accumulate virtue day and night. If we combine our mind with the bodhicitta, then our actions and speech transform into virtue. Even our sleeping and dreams, they also transform into virtue. For example, if we practice authentically, then sleeping is transformed into luminosity, and dreams transform into clarity, and so on. But if we don't follow exactly these rules and regulations, basically the Buddhist rule is we trust cause and effect. And when we don't observe this rule, when this principle, the law of karma is broken. Whatever we do is non-virtue, and then that means we are transgressing the words of the Buddhas. That's why we have to do confession. Whether we accumulated virtue or non-virtue, still we can confess and purify. And if we don't engage in non-virtue, then our virtue will increase like a waxing moon. If we did make some mistakes, then they are purified, and our virtue and the Dharma remain pure and clear. We try to have pure appearances in our mind. The principle is we try to purify our own mind. And as Guru Rinpoche said, all appearances are the Guru's form. How wondrous is paramodal existence. All sounds are the Guru's speech, inseparably united. wind, and mantra is the paramodule melody, nada melody. All thoughts are the Guru's mind, originally pure in the paramodule Dharmakaya. So we try to see all kinds of sounds are forms, and our thoughts are the Guru's body, speech, and mind. These will help us a lot to practice pure perception. Actually, authentic Guru will not perform impure actions or negative actions, but from our side, we try to keep a pure perception as much as possible, especially as we are Vajrayana practitioners. So, especially right now, we are talking about Vajrayana Samaya, and pure perception is very much engaged in our Samaya. If we have ordinary perception, then we see many ordinary things. And then we see lots of mistakes and lots of wrong things. And then it is very difficult to see them as pure actions and pure sounds. Harsh words and those kinds of sounds are very difficult to transform into mantra. But we already practice on it, especially in being mindful. This text says, all sounds are mantra, all appearances are Guru's form, and one's thoughts are Dharmakaya. Dharmakaya. This has a great benefit. We don't see others' thoughts, but we experience our own thoughts. And our thoughts bother us a lot because of anxiety, being upset, sadness, and jealousy. All of these things are suffering. So we have to purify them. Then third, it says, to be angry with our Vajra brothers, brother or sister is the third fault pointed out. Actually, there are 4 kinds of Dharma brothers and sisters. First, all mother sentient beings are our brothers and sisters because they all have Buddha nature. So we have to keep samaya of bodhicitta between these brothers and sisters. Second, all Buddhist brothers and sisters are our Dharma brothers and sisters. So we have to keep samaya with them, which means we shouldn't criticize each other. We shouldn't be jealous of each other. And especially, we shouldn't be angry with each other because we are all followers of one Buddha. And we all believe in karma. We are all under the law of karma. So we have to respect each other instead of being angry with each other. And then third is our brothers and sisters of same lineage. We all have to keep samaya, which means we don't destroy each other, we don't harm each other, and we have to respect each other because our practice is the same practice. Our view is the same. For example, our view is view in this Ndugong lineage is or Kaju lineage is Mahamudra. Especially in this Ndugong Kaju lineage, our practice is fivefold Mahamudra, and our main teaching is the single intent or Gongjik. And we all have to practice the 6 yogas of Naropa. And then the fourth brothers and sisters are our fellow disciples. We all follow one root guru, and we practice in one mandala. We receive empowerment from the same Pumpa. We receive the same blessings, and so we have a special samaya. Our Dharma brothers and sisters are not only our brothers and sisters in this life. Actually, our biological siblings may be very important. But Dharma sisters and brothers are really the most important. And we have to respect each other. We have to help each other, because with our samaya, our relationship is maintained until enlightened. Basically, for all mother sentient beings, we have one samaya, which is intrinsic awareness. It is the same as Buddha nature. As practitioners of the Bodhisattva path, we have the particular samaya of our bodhicitta. Similarly, with the individual liberation or bhakti moksha practitioners, we all have samaya, and especially Vajrayana practitioners have a special relationship. This relationship is a very important, very powerful and beneficial relationship from lifetime to lifetime until enlightenment. So if we receive many empowerments and do many Dharma practice together for a long time, then we automatically have a special relationship and samaya. Then if we look down on or scorn our Vajra siblings, then this is a very serious non-virtue. As Shantideva says, if of such a gathering of supreme excellence, a training part appeared in sentient beings, the 3 words making difference, three making offerings to them would be a very little things. So this part is actually, if you arise angry emotion instantly, at that time, it broke your virtues of 3 times. It says in the Shantideva's, Shantideva says that, but we have to understand their meaning, because someone think, oh, it, then one time I arouse my angry emotion, so maybe no, I have nothing, any virtues. Maybe someone thinks like that, but this means it's the angry emotion block to ripen the result of your virtue. because anger emotion is a very strong emotion, so then it cover these your virtues and the result of virtue. But one time, well, repent and this result of your virtue, because this is karma. Karma never betray to us. But at the same time, you don't ignore to your angry emotion when this is arising. Perhaps you think, oh, angry emotion destroy virtues. It does not mean it completely remove my virtue. It means it only cover for a little while. Then through this understanding, it will possible you just let arise many angry emotions. So you have to utilize your own spiritual wisdom, and then we have to we have to realize the karmic cause and effect, and through this way, if we practice, then we can bring we can create many benefits through our bodies, action of our body, speech and mind. So this emotion of anger is a very serious non-virtue, and to be patient is a very powerful virtue. We have freedom now. We can be patient or we can be angry. So this is in our hands. Actually, anger has another quality. When we are angry, it can cause a heart attack because when we are angry, all the inner words, inner winds gathering together in area of the chest, and then it can cause a heart attack because this wind is the wind of afflictive emotion or negative winds. Negative wind. Often we say these three poisons are the cause of three disease. Anger is the cause of gallbladder disease. So we should try to be patient after knowing the faults of the emotion of anger. But then sometimes we are just being an angry person one time, two time, and then one day, 2 day, and then it continues continuously, and then it becomes familiar. So we become a meditator of anger. Negative things can be so familiar, and positive things can also be familiar. Meditation does not always mean you close your eyes and remain in one place. Meditation means you repeat one thing often. So then it becomes completely familiar. So anger is a very harmful emotion to us. Anger burns our peace of mind. So we have to conquer anger, especially in the Sutrayana way. There is an antidote, which is patience. But in the Vajrayana way, however, we don't say we have to conquer the emotion of anger, but we have to become naturally free from anger. which means we have to see the essence of anger. If we can see the essence of anger, then this is a clarity, or the result is a mirror like wisdom. To practice, to become someone who can see the essence of the emotion of anger, when your anger arises, you are mindful. You acknowledge that, and then you change your focus. Don't focus on someone else, and especially not on their faults. You just focus on the on ahong syllables. For example, between your eyebrows or your forehead, there is a wet om. At your throat is red ah, and then move the blue hong at your heart, and then you scan and repeat it. Then your winds of angry emotion scatter, and then you will calm down. You will be less angry. Or sometimes if you direct your focus to wet on your forehead, it will help. And especially at that time, if you visualize your Yadam deity and the Guru and supplicate the Guru, then it will melt your anger. So the best thing is to see the essence of angry emotion, and then you can become free from anger naturally. And then you will achieve the mirror like wisdom. Okay, then next is the fourth samaya. It says, the Buddha taught that to abandon love for any beings is a fault. So if we abandon love for any beings, this is the fourth downfall. Sometimes we see other people, or people look down on other people, and not just to people, but to other sentient beings as well. When you see this happen, if you rejoice in it, then you break your Vajrayana Samaya. Actually, bodhicitta is the life force of the Buddha Dharma. For that reason, you should keep it like your heart or your eyes, and take care of it like your eyes. Especially since you have these tantric vows, you must be careful of each and every motivation. And if any single moment malicious thoughts or covetousness arises, immediately purify it. To break this samaya, you don't have to act physically. You don't have to use harsh words. But if you only rejoice when someone harms other person or kills other beings, then at that time you break this samaya. You need to be very, very careful. Sometimes it looks like Vajrayana practitioners have a lot of freedom. It seems whatever they do is okay. And Bhakti Moksha vow and other refuge vow, and practitioners are not allowed to do whatever they want. It seems like that, but it isn't really like that. When you see some practitioners do everything and it seems okay, it means they are free from thoughts, from all negative thoughts and negative perceptions. But since you have ordinary perceptions, then you have to be careful, more careful of Vajrayana vows than others, because they are easier for you to receive than the other vows, because it is easier to receive the Vajrayana vows, because you participate in the empowerment, you repeat a few lines, you receive the 20 vows. But they are easier to break than other vows. So be very careful. And also, if you break these vows, then the result is very heavy. There will be serious suffering. You can break this samaya just with negative motivation, but the result you will experience will be the hell realm or lower realms. I don't want to scare you, but you have to think carefully about this samaya. And if you keep your samaya, the power is that with one life, with one body, instantly it will help you to become enlightened. And then fifth, it says to abandon bodhicitta, the root of the Dharma, is fifth. You should think that through the power of your bodhicitta, you will liberate all mother sentient beings from the sorrow of suffering. This kind of thinking or mind is real bodhicitta. There are three kinds of ways for bodhicitta to arise. One way is to arouse bodhicitta like a king, which means like someone who becomes a king and then takes care of all his kingdom and people. Similarly, you practice bodhicitta to become enlightened first, like Amitabha Buddha. And then you create a pure land and liberate mother sentient beings and invite them to your pure land. This is one way. The second is to arouse bodhicitta like a herdsman. That means you don't expect to become enlightened. Even if you have to be reborn in the hell realms and the lower realms for the sake of mother sentient beings, still you will be patient. You will accept it. And even if you have to commit some non-virtue for the sake of others, you accept it. So you will liberate all mother sentient beings like a herding sheep inside the fence and then closing the gate so they are protected. The other way is like a boatman or how ships how to say ship's captain, right? Captain cross from this side to the other side with the passengers. Then you are all protected from the water or ocean or river, because you are all in the boat, and then you all cross the river or samsara together like that. When you arouse bodhicitta, there are countless mother sentient beings. So then if you give up, you think, oh, it is not easy to liberate mother sentient beings, and then you give up bodhicitta, or you grow disheartened, thinking I won't be able to liberate all mother thinking beings. They are countless. Whenever you lose courage like this, you will incur the fifth downfall. Of course, if we lose our bodhicitta, it is a non-virtue, or even if we just become discouraged, we still commit a downfall. That's where the tantric vows are hard to keep, it seems. But we can keep them. Them through purifying, and that is the best way to keep them. If we can keep tantric vows, it has such a wonderful benefit. Still not finished. I think. Let me see. Okay, we go one session, and then. Okay, then next is the sixth downfall. It says, then to belittle the teachings that are one's own or others' philosophical beliefs is the sixth. To belittle the teachings of others' traditions or our own tradition is a very grave fault. And it's even dangerous because it breaks religious harmony and destroys relationships and the peace of the world. In our Buddhism, we shouldn't think, oh, Suttarayana is not good. It is low. And Vajrayana is very good. It is the highest, or something like that. If we have this kind of ordinary discriminations, then we break samaya. So we all have to keep our perception and pure perception and respect each other. We should all try to focus on the good qualities of all religions. Try to pay attention to their good qualities, will benefit the peace of the world, and will help us keep our Vajrayana Samaya. So there is no reason to commit non-virtue and break Samaya. So this is very important to keep Samayas purely. Okay, so now we will take tea break. If you like coffee, then coffee break. And thank you very much for joining. And please arise bodhicitta, and we do a short dedication together. Chancho senjo Rinpoche ma je ba na je 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 ba nyam ba mi par yang gong ne gong de be war jo.
May bodhicitta, the precious and supreme mind, arise in whom it has not yet arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher.
So can we come back at 10 Arizona 10:45?
Yep, so we will take a 20-minute break and we will see you back here at 10:45 Arizona time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Happy Father's Day. His Eminence Garchen Rinpoche often said, all male who has compassion, they are compassion Buddha, and all males who have females who have compassion, they are Tara. In the way of Vajrayana, we need this perception. In the way of Mahayana, we need bodhicitta perception, which means all mother sentient beings are, all beings are our parents. Okay, so now we will continuously discourse. So the seventh Samaya says to disclose the secret teachings to sentient beings who have not fully matured is seventh. Actually, there are some particular sentient beings who are not allowed to listen to secret Tantra teachings. There are, for example, people who have broken tantric samayas in a serious way because of a wrong view. Then, after they have not confessed for a single moment, and they don't even have the intention to confess. If we teach secret parts of Tantra to them, it will not be of any benefit to them because they still will give rise to more wrong view. So that's why they are not permitted to receive secret tantric teachings. We are not allowed to teach them. If we do teach them, then we incur the seventh downfall. Usually, Vajrayana is a secret. And whether it is a secret or not depends on the practitioners. Practitioners who have heard Vajrayana method teachings, if you can arouse pure perception, and if you can arouse enthusiasm, then you will understand through your practice. And then the secret Vajrayana isn't secret for any of you. But when some people hear Vajrayana teachings, they feel uncomfortable. Uncomfortable means that a wrong view immediately arises. A wrong view or the wrong kind of doubt. One kind of doubt is thinking, what is this about? And you are willing to learn something. This doubt is fine. But another kind of doubt is to think that doesn't seem true. Maybe you haven't completely decided, but you already think it is probably not true. In the circumstance of hearing about mandala and all of the Yidam deities filling this universe and so on, and especially hearing about non-duality, if you are thinking, maybe not. If you have that kind of a doubt, then that means it is kept very secret from you. That means you make it secret by yourself. The next one is the eighth Samaya. It says to abuse one's own aggregates, the embodiments of the five Buddhas is 8. Our 5 aggregates are the 5 family Buddhas. For instance, our consciousness is Akshobhya, and our feeling is Rana Sambhava, and aggregates of perception is Amitabha, and the aggregate of formation is Amongasidi, and our body is Verochana. Then our inner sense perceptions are the 6 bodhisattvas. For example, eyes are bodhisattva, Namkhanyingbo. In Sanskrit, it says Kashyangarbha. Ears are Vajrapani. Nose is Earth Bodhisattva, Shitingarbha. Tongue is Avalokiteshvara. Body is Bodhisattva, Dipanamsar. In Sanskrit, Veshukambin. And then the mind is Manjushri. And then each and every chakra has yadam deities, and every channel and node has yadam deities. In brief, there are 42 peaceful yadam deities and 60 herukas, and all of them are in our body. On the crown chakra, in its 10 directions, there are different gardens, and then in the heart chakra, it also has outer, inner, and secret, and other in the 10 directions. Everywhere there are yidam deities. That is how our body is full of yidam deities. If we do not recognize this, we think this is an ordinary body. And if we have this perception, then we break samaya. This body is really a mandala of yidam deities. That's where Lord Jigten Sumgön said in the fivefold Mahamudra, if the strong hold of unchanging ground is not seized in one's own body, the king of the deities, the court of Mother Darkness, will not convene. So persevere in the yidam of the body. The yidam is the root of cities, and the guru is root of blessings. They are our way of practice, and they are the result of our practice. So this samaya is very important. Then next is the ninth samaya. It says to doubt the pure nature of phenomena is the ninth. We said that our 5 aggregates are the 5 family Buddhas. The channels are mandalas of yidam deities, and that the 6 sense. Outer and inner are the male and female bodhisattvas. We don't make them like this artificially. It is natural. Like the sun's rays have different colors naturally, or when the sun and the rain come together, the rainbow appears naturally. Especially our mind is the Dharmakaya. But some doubt that it it is a Buddha mind and think it is just taught as a skillful means. But inherently, there is nothing like all of these qualities in it. Especially our ordinary mind is a non-conceptual mind or non-duality or dharmakaya. And if someone doubts this, then this is the ninth downfall of samaya. The reason we call it breaking samaya is that whenever you break samaya, then you cannot make qualities arise from Buddha nature. You already have Buddha nature. The only thing you have to do is purify the temporary obscurations. But instead, if you create extra obscurations, then you break samaya. That's why Lord Jigten Sungun said in the fivefold Mahamudra, if the cloud masses of thoughts have not subsided within the spacious sky of the nature of mind, planets and stars of twofold knowledge will not shine. So persevere in this non-conceptual mind. Twofold knowledge is the Buddha's omniscience. We all have this knowledge, but we have to purify our obscurations. And if we keep pure samaya, then it will help us to shine our twofold knowledge for the sake of mother sentient beings. The next samaya is the 10th. It says, to maintain loving relations with the evil terrors is regarded as 10th. It is very unlikely for us to commit this non-virtue because it would be difficult for us to have enough bodhicitta for those kinds of living beings who are suffering. When we hear about these serious wrongs that they commit, then it's very hard for us to generate bodhicitta. This downfall is more related to higher practitioners, those who have more power. In any case, the enemies of the teachings destroy the Dharma and they criticize the three jewels. They rob monasteries' wealth. They criticize the Mahayana vehicle. They harm the guru, and they destroy others' practice and criticize Vajrayana. Never, not even for a moment, does bodhicitta or compassion arise in them, and they have a wrong view of cause and effect. So these kind of people are the object of wrathful practice, not peaceful practice. As I mentioned, to conquer them through wrathful practice is only for the higher practitioners. In the Vajrayana, it said, for instance, if you conquer someone through wrathful practice, then you need the ability to bring them to happiness afterwards. The example to show when you are ready to do this kind of a practice is when you recite some mantras and visualize some yidam, and that makes in apple fall of the apple tree onto the ground, and then you recite mantras and visualize again, and that will put that apple back from the ground to the branch of the tree. When you have that kind of power, then you will be ready to do restful practice. Don't misunderstand and think we are practicing our restful deities, so we are doing restful activities. It is not like that. That kind of activity is very, how to say, restricted to very higher practitioners. Lower practitioners who try to do it may be able to harm someone. For instance, they could destroy someone's life, but then they would not be able to liberate them into pure light afterwards. If they cannot do that, then they are not ready to practice wrathful activities. But when you do have that power and a higher ability, if you see someone doing those kinds of evil actions, then you have to conquer them. Otherwise, if you don't do it, maybe because they are your best friend or your relative or close to you, so you just practice a little compassion and let them go, just leave them be. This breaks samaya, and it's the 10th downfall. But if you are not a higher practitioner, you still try to practice wrathful activities like this, then it will possible it harms you in this life, and next life rebirth in lower realms. Compassionately practice wrathful yidam deities is not wrathful wrathful activities. Wrathful activities. So then the 11th samaya, it says to conceptualize the phenomena that are without names and labels is 11th. This is regarding ordinary perception and concepts. We think, oh, this is right, this is wrong. This is a tree, this is a house. We have the perception that everything is solid. But everything we perceive is inherently emptiness. It doesn't truly exist. So we have to realize this, especially the practitioners of the Vajrayana. We have to realize emptiness, and it is best to have a pure perception. All this environment is the mandala, and all thinking beings are male and female yidam deities. Even our anger and other 5 afflictive emotions transform into wisdoms. For instance, we purify them. That means we transform anger into a mirror-like wisdom. Pride transforms into equanimity wisdom. Attachment transforms into discriminating wisdom. Jealousy transforms into all-accomplishing wisdom, and ignorance transforms into the Dharma Dhatu wisdom. If we can transform them into the wisdoms, and we can see everything with pure perceptions, but if we still fixate on our realizations and our experiences, then that is what this samaya deals with. That's why we don't want to fixate on our realizations. Telopa gave this instruction to Naropa. Son, you will not be banned by appearances, but you will be banned by fixation. That's where you cut fixation. He said that. And in the Vajrayana way, sometimes we fixate our on our higher view and some special experiences. And at that time, we have to be careful. This is something very important. Then how to cut the fixation is, in the Ganges Mahamudra, it says, when you relax in an unaltered, natural state, the bounds are released and you are undoubtedly freed. Then the 12th Samaya, it says, to cause discouragement in those who have faith in 12th. This refers to those who are rep for practice, especially the Vajrayana, and who have enthusiasm to practice the Dharma, especially the Trantic vehicle. This means that if we don't like Vajrayana and someone else has enthusiasm and is especially ready to practice Vajrayana, then if we mislead them or discourage them from practice, then this is the 12th downfall. To mislead them means, for example, speaking deceptively or dishonestly. So then this is the 12th downfall. Then next is the 13th Samaya. It says, as for the Samayas, not attending to how they are acquired is the 13th. And the Vajrayana practice, there are many things related to the Samaya substances. For example, the Dharmaru, Bel, Kilaya, and Mandalas, all depending on different tantric practice. So if you are ready to use them, but you don't use them, this is also cause broken samaya. And then sometimes during the third and the fourth empowerment, at that time there is a practice to engage with the secret concert. So if you have reached that stage, if you don't engage at that time, then this is also the 13th downfall of samaya. But there is a right time for everything. I mean, if you are ready to practice that, then you have to do that practice. But if you are not ready, then you shouldn't do it. This is a very, very important. Then next is the 14th Samaya. It says to disrespect women who are the nature of wisdom is the 14th downfall. Women are our mothers. They are the seed of our compassion, and inherently they are the wisdom of emptiness. In relative truth, they are the Nirmanakayas of Tantra, and they are the Sambhogakaya of Vajrayogini, and the Dharmakaya of Parjana Parimita, and other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and Yidam deities. If you look down on them, then this is the 14th downfall. Especially if they are about to be a secret concert. If we look down on them because we cannot see their abilities, or the only reason we look down on them is because they are women, then this is the 14th downfall. If we do not break these 14 samayas, then all tantric vows are included in these 14 samayas. And if we break one of these 14, then that means we are breaking our tantric vows. For that reason, we have to be careful. Actually, some of the vows are very hard to keep purely, but what we can do is we can purify right after our mistakes. Actually, we often heard that non-virtue has no good quality, but it has a single good quality, which is we can purify them. So we are still in this samsara. So we have a dualistic perception. So it is very possible we may make some mistakes, especially these samayas are pretty much hard to keep purely. So it's very possible we make some mistakes, but we have to purify them. So tantric practitioners have a special way to purify it. Lord Jigten Sunggun said, as well as the Buddha and other masters, said that if you break a tantric vow during the day, you should confess by night time. If you break a vow at night, then you should confess it during the next day. If you break it in the morning, then by afternoon, confess it. If you break a tantric vow in the afternoon, confess it by evening. Even if you broken it about an hour ago, confess right away. So this is how we can keep tantric vows purely. Otherwise, it is quite hard to keep these vows clearly or purely. So we have to keep these 14 samayas purely, and then we can say we have pure Vajrayana samaya. Conclusion of samayas, and then this last line says, when these are abandoned, the mountains, accomplishments, will surely be attained. I reveal and relinquished, degraded, and broken samayas of body, speech, and mind, and their fundamental and auxiliary aspects, and every downfall arising from thoughts, together with their mass of defilements. Please bestow your blessing that they be cleansed and made pure. Okay, so the Yidam deities are the root of siddhis. The Guru is the root of blessings, and then our relation with them is samaya. The main samaya is that all of these 14 samayas should be combined with bodhicitta. If we have bodhicitta, then basically we have samaya or samaya. When we take vows and samayas, we should take them through bodhicitta. And when we practice with these samayas, we should practice with bodhicitta. And when we dedicate, we also do it through bodhicitta. When we make mistakes or do something to harm our samayas, we confess with bodhicitta. So if we combine everything with bodhicitta, everything is excellent. So His Eminence Garchen Rinpoche always says, oh, there are many tantric samayas. So if we tell this each and everything, it's very difficult to understand, and seems it's difficult to keep it purely. But you can, the life force of samaya is bodhicitta, so you keep it. He always gave these instructions. So this is a really wonderful instruction, especially to us. We are quite hard to understand vividly about each and every tantric samayas. Even if we understand each and every these samayas, it seems quite difficult to keep them. Also, maybe it's we think, oh, it's very difficult. I can't do this. I can't do that. That's really, it's possible to arise kind of this feeling. But what we can do is, perhaps this is like a vehicle. If we just look outwardly on the vehicle, there are 4 tires and lots of things. It seems as we cannot draw it. But if we sit inside of a car and what is called with the what, steer wheel, we carefully with this, pay attentionally, we draw that, then we can reach very nice places, and we can reach in the shopping center, and we can buy lots of things, and we can save time and so on. Similarly, so if we keep pure perception, then all tantric samayas will be pure. So the principle is that, but of course we have to, if we learn something a little bit about this, then we understand more, and then at least we take care of one of them, and then it has great benefit. So Lord Jigten Sungkun said, if you have you did not take a vow, or you take a vow after broke that, which one is more benefit? Of course, you take one vow, at least one vow, even if you will break that, but it has a great benefit, because this is a cause of enlightened, enlightenment. But it does not mean if the reason you break that, it means you take that vow, then you have a benefit. So we all have Vajrayana vow since we have received empowerment. I think you know much better than me, so I try to remind you as much as possible. And then now I will go over the tantric vows. So all vows are basically the same. We have to avoid negative activities, and we have to avoid accumulating negative karma, and we have to gather positive karma and virtues through our body, speech, and mind. As Lord Jigten Sungu said, the lower vows are the foundation of the higher vows. This means all the vows are interrelated. For instance, in order to receive the individual liberation vow, you must have the refuge vow. Then for the tantric vow, we need to have the refuge vow as the foundation, as everybody knows. And then also we have to have the bodhicitta vow. This is the main requirement. And then when you take tantric vows, you make the commitment that you will keep these vows until you become enlightened. This determination or commitment must arise from your Dharma wisdom. It is not a casual, the accidental decision, or due to the influence of others. Not like that. It must come from your clear Dharma wisdom. This is very important. We receive tantric vows during empowerment. Empowerment from the text. Basically, we receive them during in empowerment from our guru. The easiest vows to receive are the tantric vows, especially recently, because we receive the gurus bestowing gurus are bestowing empowerments, but tantric vows are the hardest to keep because they have lots of samayas, millions of samayas. It is even hard to know what each and every samayas is. But all of these samayas are included in the 14 root downfalls. So I explained these. But first, tantric vows come from the 4 classes of tantra. These are the Kriya Tantra, Tsaya Tantra, Yoga Tantra, and Anuttara Yoga Tantra. There are another 6 classifications like Father Tantra, Mother Tantra, and non-dual Tantra, and so on. And the tantras of the new and old traditions have lots of instructions. When it comes to taking empowerment in any of these classes of tantra, there are 3 levels of practitioners. Those of higher, middling, and lower capacities. Practitioners of lower capacity need to have mandala like a sand mandala or a constructed mandala, and they need to be introduced to the aspects of the mandala. This is that, and that is this. Like the doors and windows and so on. Sometimes we see a constructed mandala that is established. Sometimes there is a sand mandala. First Guru introduce the mandalas and then gives the empowerment. Students of medium capabilities can use a mandala painted on a canvas. They will understand from that. Students of higher capacities can understand with a body mandala. A body mandala is when they see the Guru's body. The Guru's body is actually the 5 family Buddhas and other Yudam deities, especially the deities of which empowerment is being conferred. If we know a little bit about this, it's important. That's why I'm mentioning it here briefly. A Kriya Tantra empowerment includes the garland of flowers, water, and crown empowerment. You will receive Kriya Tantra vows during the garland, water, and crown empowerment, and others. You receive the Tsarya Tantra, tantric vows, Vajra and Bel, and other empowerments. Then during the Yoga Tantra empowerments, you receive the vows through similar empowerments, including Vajra Master's empowerment. Anuttara vows are received from its empowerments. We call it the higher 3 empowerment. These are the secret empowerment, wisdom empowerment, and the union of wisdom and the method empowerment. Sometimes we call it the world empowerment. And then at that time we receive the vows of the Antara Yoga Tantra. In any case, when we receive empowerment, we often hear Sarvata Tangata Abhikikade Samaya Shireye Hong. There are 2 parts to the meaning of this. First is what we call scattering. What we are scattering or overthrowing are over-afflictive emotions. They have a gathering together and become like ice. That's where we have to scatter them. The second meaning is pouring. What are we pouring? The nectar of primordial wisdom. This is what the words mean. This phrase is in relation to the vase empowerment. The vase empowerment purifies the channels and the body actually. When we receive this empowerment, it purifies the ordinary channels of our body and plants the seed of the Nirmanakaya. After the vase empowerment, there is the secret empowerment. What is meant by secret is that it is secret from those of lower capacities. Because if they see it, realization will not arise for them. Instead, they will have a wrong view and confusion. how we receive the secret empowerment is through the Vajra and Banga. Banga actually means conqueror. So we are conquering the negative channels, negative winds, negative thoughts, and so on. Basically, this empowerment is received from the union of the Yidam deities. We receive their bodhicitta and it purifies the negative imprint of speech, plants the seed of the Sambhogakaya. So, as yesterday Rinpoche gave us instructions, what is the Sambhogakaya? That means, so here a very important thing to understand. What is the relationship over speech and Sambhogakaya? This relationship is, if we follow Sambhogakaya and we practice this yidam, that means we recite mantra. That means we purify this ordinary speech. From our side, we have to think all the sounds are mantra. But these mantras are also not solid. These mantras are also like what is called echo. So if we can perceive or we can think like that, it has great benefit in our daily life. For example, here, if I use some harsh word, definitely it harms to your mind. That means, of course, from my side, I use harsh word. That is my mistake. But the main mistake comes from your mind. Because if you can perceive that sound, harsh words, if you can transform these harsh words into mantra, then this harsh word is just like an echo. It cannot harm to you. And then if you can think, these all the body action of a body, speech, and mind, they all comes from emptiness. Like a waves comes from ocean, but they dissolve into ocean. Similarly, everything appears from emptiness, but they all dissolve into emptiness. If you can do that, then you will you are physically in samsara, but you are not suffering. Samsaric things cannot make you suffer. So how powerful our way of thinking. So when people say some kind of harsh words and or some what is called is negative speech, when you heard directly or you don't follow that, don't think that is real. So the best thing is there are many ways to avoid this problem, from these problems. Number one, you give compassion. Oh, it's possible they are still in the beings of samsara. So they have thoughts, so they create lots of things. It's very possible, but still I'm really compassionate because they have been my mother, they have been my father, or they are my Dharma brothers, sisters, especially in the tantric way, they are Vajra brothers and sisters. And you give compassion. If you cannot miss it. And then second step is, I already told you that. So we all have to try. Sometimes we are, how to say, successful. successful. Sometimes we are not, but not give up. We keep going continuously. So we have Buddha nature in our mind. So we have Buddha nature. Buddha nature is bliss, emptiness, clarity, luminosity. So we have confidence. These temporary problems, temporary things are very temporary. If we shine the primordial wisdom, then these temporary perceptions are like ice. It will melt into the ocean of our wisdom. So then the third is what we call the wisdom empowerment. This is relative bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. There are two. Relative bodhicitta aspects of this empowerment is the four joys. Through engaging and disengaging, we give rise to the four joys. The ultimate bodhicitta aspect of this empowerment is realizing primordial wisdom, or the wisdom of a great bliss. The fourth empowerment is called the word empowerment. The meaning of this empowerment is introduced through words. That is why we call it the world empowerment. In the Sutara vehicle, it is called Sungata, Garbha, or Buddha nature. In the new tradition, we call it the nature of mind. In the old tradition, it says it is called Rigpa Rangjong Yishi, or intrinsic awareness. There are different names, but same meaning. So I mentioned that the empowerment has two meanings. First is to scatter what is scattered. What is scattered by empowerment is the imprint of the six consciousness. When we wake up, these six consciousness automatically follow the sense objects. Then attachment and aversion arise. That's where we scatter them. Actually, the vice empowerment has 7 individual empowerments. They are called the 7 empowerment of entering like a child. They are the water empowerment, the crown empowerment, the ribbon empowerment, the Vajra and the bell empowerment. The Vajra of practice empowerment, the name of the name empowerment, and so on. And then sometimes there are 37 different empowerment during the vast empowerment. Then during the secret empowerment over ordinary winds and ordinary mind are purified. Because of our ordinary wind and mind, we have many delusions in our dreams. So they can be purified this way. Scattered by the secret empowerment, then the wisdom empowerment scatters the deep sleep state. In deep sleep, we don't have ordinary wind and mind. It is almost like unconsciousness. So this is ignorance. So the wisdom empowerment purifies ignorance. Because at that time, bliss and wisdom arise in our channels. Then the word empowerment purifies the perception of the gross feeling of union. The ordinary feelings that occur during union, the fourth empowerment scatters these feelings so that the realization that bliss is also emptiness can arise. This fourth empowerment purifies obscuration and establishes or plants the seed of the fourth kaya, which is a innate kaya. And then the other three empowerments establish or plants the seed, each of the three kayas. In brief, ordinary appearances, subject and object are emptiness. Bliss and especially the nature of compassion. So when you have these empowerments, then you receive tantric vows. After we receive from tantric vows, from empowerments, we have to keep the tantric vows like they are our eyes. In order to keep them, we have to know what they are. As I mentioned earlier, there are millions of tantric vows, but they are all included in the 14 root tantric vows. So there is the confession of the 14 tantric root downfalls, and through them we can understand what the vows are we have to keep. So when we receive empowerment, we receive Vajrayana vow or tantric vow, right? And then only we receive empowerment can we receive tantric vow purely or clearly or not. So this is very much related to you. So when we receive empowerment, when we taking empowerment, we really have to listen carefully when Guru gives us empowerment. Lord Jigten Sungkun said, whenever you understand the meaning of empowerment, then you will receive empowerment. It does not mean, for example, right now I introduced briefly about the empowerment. At that time, you will receive empowerment. I don't mean this. But when Guru gave us instructions, and Guru says, no, you meditate like this. No, you visualize like this. No, you repeat these words. And you go step by step what Guru instruct to you. And then you visualize, meditate, repeat. And then after you receive purely the empowerment. When you receive the purely empowerment, then you will receive tantric vows. So like that, and then if I may make any mistakes through these teachings, I deeply confess in front of Guru and in front of Yadam deities and in front of Vajra sibilants. And then please recite 100 syllable mantra one time, and then dedication prayer. Yes.
Om Benzo Sato Samaya Manu Palaya Benzo Sato Genopa Tishto Drido Me Bawa Suto Kayo Me Bawa Supo Kayo Me Bawa Anorakto Me Bawa Sarwa Siddhi Me Triatsa Sarwa Karma Sutsam Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sarwa Tata Gata Benzo Mame Munsa, Benzo Bawa Maha Samaya Sato Aha. By this merit, may I attain omniscience. Having defeated the enemies, my wrongdoings, may I liberate all beings who are tossed in the ocean of samsara by the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. Whatever virtues sentient beings possess, whatever good they have done, will do, and are doing now, whatever goodness there may be, may it permeate all beings everywhere. By the virtue accumulated throughout the 3 times by others and myself, may all beings filling the reaches of space enter the gateway of the unexcelled path, and may they attain the Vajra holder's ground. By all the virtue actually performed and mentally created by myself and all sentient beings of the 3 times, may all beings of the 6 realms attain the 5 kayas and realize the primordial wisdom of the Buddhas in the Dharmadhatu mandala of the awakened mind. Glorious root Guru, precious one who sits upon a lotus at my heart, hold me with kindness and grant me all the accomplishments of enlightened body, speech, and mind. I pray for the excellent health of the Guru. I pray that he lives a supremely long life. I pray that his activities spread far and wide. Grant blessings that I may not be separate from my Guru. May the Buddha's teachings, the only source of benefit and happiness, endure long, and may the victory banner of longevity be steadfast for those who uphold the teachings. May the sound of the great Dharma drum liberate all sentient beings from suffering. Please remain and teach the Dharma for infinite millions of kalpas. By the might of this powerful merit, may the aspirations of the benefactors and their circles be accomplished within this very life. May their obstacles be pacified, may everything be auspicious, and may their wishes be fulfilled according to the Dharma. Just as the hero Manjushri realized things as they are, and as did Samantabhadra too, I will follow in their path and perfectly dedicate all these virtues. As all such dedications have been praised as supreme,
by the unchanging nature of reality and by the blessing of the
the
undivided
undivided Sangha. We
community.
had a mic problem, sorry. May my prayers be fulfilled according to this dedication. By the virtues accumulated in the 3
Our beings.
In the 3 times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the intrinsic root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious awakening. Great Vajradhara, Tilopa, Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, Dharma Lord Kampopa, Pagmodrupa, and Lord Rikungpa, may the auspiciousness of all the Kagyu Lamas prevail. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind, root and lineage gurus,
divine assembly of Yidams, assemblies of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, heroes and heroines, Yogini and her assembly of Dakinis, all of you dwelling in the 10 directions, please heed me. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of hate, attachment, hatred, ignorance, pride, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May thoughts of fame, reputation, respect, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. And may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. At the moment of death, may I not experience the suffering of being abruptly severed from this life. May I not suffer a terrible death. May I not die confused by wrong views. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of the mind itself and in the crystal clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bardo. For this realm encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness. Tenzin Gyatso, Lord Chenrezig, may you remain steadfast until the end of samsara. Embodiment of the three jewels, great being who upholds and increases the teachings of the Shakya lion. Supreme are your activities of guiding others with your perfect deeds. May you, the precious Guru who accomplishes everything spontaneously, live long. Holder of the teachings of Lord Drigumpa, great Lord of the three jewels, through the power of your peerless compassion and the holy Dharma's peace and light, you bring relief to beings. May your life be long. The one known in the noble land as Aryadeva emanated into the Gar clan of eastern Tibet as Chodingpa, the heart son of Jigten Gompo. May the life of glorious Garchen remain steadfast for 100 eons.
Page 28.
May the teachings of the great Drikumpal Ratnashri, master of interdependence, omniscient Lord of Dharma, who has seen all knowable things, be upheld until the end of cyclic existence through study, practice, hearing, contemplation, and meditation. Your 1,000 arms are the 1,000 wheel-turning kings. Your 1,000 eyes are the 1,000 Buddhas of this fortunate eon. Your love is boundless like space. I supplicate to the Bodhisattva Chenrezig.
Thank you, Khenpo. Thank you so much. Thanks all the translator and thanks all the friends joining our this teaching. And this afternoon, Rinpoche will give the empowerment. So please join us. We will see you all this afternoon. Khenpo, your teaching is so great. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful Dharma practice time, all you all.